Three, two, one. Going live, and we are live. Hello, and welcome to another day. Oh, push that off. Day in the Milky Way. My gosh, we are good to go. Man, thank you all for coming. If the dog doesn't quit whining here, we'll be good to go on everything that's up and working. And thank you all for showing up tonight. I know it's summertime and everybody likes to be out and about, and you probably are out enjoying the weather because it is so nice. At least it is really here. It's not too hot and it's not too cold. And there is Nina. Hey, Nina the Mystic. Thank you for coming. I had a great show the other night on Friday. I really had a good time. Thank you for doing what you do. Remember, everybody, go out and get yourself an Anacorona something. I got these Anacorona mugs. And look at, they got the little Anacorona on them. And I got a hat here somewhere and I got my Anacorona hat. And you too, well, she don't have these for sale anymore, but these were cool. But they still got the Anacorona symbol on them. So this is a plug for you, Nina. These are really nice. Anyway, I do get to wear that every now and then, but this is my Saturday hat. So anyway, we're going to start out while we're waiting for Zig Zag to show up. And if he doesn't show up, I hope I get a co-host somewhere. But in the meantime, we are going to do some sharing. As you can see in the background, that is my garden. And I did a little video of that earlier today. And I am going to show this. I got to pull it up and then I got to shut it off. That's where I got to shrink all of this. It's making noise. Okay, we got to get that bigger. I'm driving the bus, people, but I'm going to give you the best possible show that I can give you. And that is what I always do. And so we are going to do some sharing here. Oh, and there we go. I'm going to share the screen and then we're going to click on this. And, oh, wait a minute. I got to stop sharing that. I got to make sure that you guys are going to be able to hear my audio. That's right. Share sound. Optimize for video clip. Now, yes, there we go. And we're going to play. Yeah, why? Okay, here's my second crop of radishes, which are not doing very good. Then we got our sunflowers out here, and you can see there's grasshoppers everywhere. They are all over. Look at these big grasshoppers eating everything. They are all over. Everywhere. They've eaten everything. Here's some my Swiss chard. Grasshoppers eating this too. So I let my chickens out. The chickens are out there eating the grasshoppers. And my corn, here's my corn. It's not that big, but it's got great ears on it. The ears are, let's pick one. Here, before the grasshoppers get to it. And as you can see, they have, look at that beautiful ear of corn. It's just perfect. It's ready for eating. We're going to take it in the house and cook some of it up. Not the tallest corn in the world, but it definitely is. Okay. Now this is what's happened to my cabbage. Oh. And the cabbages, these little damn bugs these bugs are eating my cabbages. That's only like in a couple of days. Here's my broccoli. The cauliflower and the broccoli. Sorry. Broccoli's here. This is my cauliflower. It's doing really good. Didn't get affected so much with my broccoli. Even my cauliflower. Look at the leaves on them. They're terrible. I don't know what happened to them.
I've watered plenty, but they're just dying. Everything's dying. Must be these damn bugs. And with the peas were good. You can still find some green beans. We got some green beans here, but the grasshoppers are getting to them things too. And I don't know what to do with them. You can see that they are just eating like crazy. I got some beans on there. They're probably ready to pick. As you can see there.
All right, so can you guys hear me?
Yes, yes we can.
Here's my potatoes. And no potato beetles though. Maybe that's what all I can plant. And of course I got my onions. Look at these big onions. Look at it. They're doing really good. Let's dig one here. These are way down in there, and they're huge. They're huge down there. Nice big onion down there. And I got these big ass beets. Man, look at that beet. That is a beet. Holy cow. And we got some peppers here, but as you can see, the peppers are getting eaten by the grasshoppers too. It's terrible. About the time you can see there's some peppers on there, and they're still flowering. We got more cauliflower here. They're getting big. And here's my tomatoes. Got a lot of tomatoes. You can see down in there, there's some red ones. A lot of cherry tomatoes here. I got a giant tomato plant over here. This thing, pretty darn big. And all these other tomatoes here. Lots of tomatoes. And of course I got some more beets. And more onions. And lots more potatoes. So that's what we got. We got these sunflowers, different kinds, that hopefully are going to have some sunflower seeds on them. In the meantime, I let the chickens out. They run around and eat some of them damn grasshoppers. And we can walk around to the back of my chicken coop that I've made. This is my little chicken coop, and I got a little thing on the back for the chicken. We can that up and we're looking for eggs. I already picked eggs, but there's our little brooder house inside. We go in there and you see, and they can go down in their hole there and make a chicken, or go down and get into their pen out here where they like to roam around. And they got their little ladder. You go up in their thing. And over here I got my rhubarb. Here's the rhubarb. Rhubarb did real good, but grasshoppers are eating that too. And this here is all potatoes, which the chickens are starting to dig them up. I got purple potatoes. Potatoes no good. I got this purple potato. Got these purple ones. Like that. I haven't dug all these potatoes up. I'm leaving them grow for a little bit. And then here's my other bin of tomatoes right here. They are huge. I got tomatoes on there and over here. There's some small ones. There's some small ones here and there. I'm getting this. A lot of them are getting this rot. If you can see that. You see the rot in there? Yeah. Don't know why that's happening. Some of them get it, some of them don't. But other than that, they are growing really good. Okay. Well, I hope you all enjoyed my garden and my raised beds and a little bit of the chickens.
Hey, and there y'all are. Hot diggity dog. What did you think all that? I don't know if you could see it or not, but that was my garden and all the good stuff. So there we go. I can hear you now.
Okay, yeah, I had to switch my computer and my headphones are not getting along, which is wonderful.
Yeah. And Zig Zag Zilla, welcome. Thank you.
What's up, buddy?
Hey, did you get to see the garden video?
I did. All I had to do was just make sure that I switched the screen to the left and I was able to see everything.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Did you see all of that? Man, I tell you, everything is doing real good, except that now it's starting to get eaten by the bugs. Did you see that cabbage? It is like devastated. And the grasshoppers are so terrible this year. They are like everywhere. The chickens go out there and they eat as many as they can, but they're everywhere. They're eating everything. We got this plague. I mean, you go outside, they come in the house, they fly, they get on your clothes, they're on the side of the wall, it's terrible. I don't know what to do with them.
Well, I mean, you probably have slugs at night too. At nighttime, the slugs will do a number on your food also.
Oh, probably.
The thing is, since you're not using chemicals or anything like that. So
no, that's why I got all that stuff. Oh man,
you have to find those alternative remedies. That's why I don't grow greens personally. I just like last year I grew greens and I had the same issue. I don't know, man. It was too much of a headache for me. That's why I just let the greens be.
do you have problems with the grasshoppers or bugs and stuff there really bad? Because you got a lot more water and greenness there than we got here.
Yeah, we do have a lot of pests, but last year I feel like it was worse. This year I feel like every year, I mean, I get new predators coming in to interrupt that cycle, I guess, but I don't feel like they were that bad this year. Even the Japanese beetles weren't that bad. I'm noticing something interesting, man. I saw like these little frogs everywhere, and these little frogs are like they're literally everywhere, like even on a tree branch. And I'm seeing them eat these beetles and bugs as like I'm walking the garden, and I find that fascinating because I didn't see those last year. But frogs, go figure.
Those little tree frogs, huh?
Yeah, tree frogs.
Nice. Well, those are I know they eat bugs and things. Yeah, they'll get like right in your door or in your windowsill.
Yes, I've seen them.
Yeah.
Now they're good. Those are very good because they actually eat those insects that you don't want at nighttime, particularly also, so I've noticed they've been doing a pretty good job. The praying mantises, I don't know, do you have any praying mantises?
Not that I've ever seen here. I mean, maybe it's just too far north or something like that. Usually we have hardly any bugs, hardly any mosquitoes, a lot of flies, but that's about it. And then the rest is just there's not much of anything. But this year, holy cow, the grasshoppers are crazy. Those little black bugs are crazy. We don't have that many flies this year. Well, we got flies, but not like we have the other years. And there was like 0 mosquitoes too. I've
got so many mosquitoes this year. It's insane. Like every time I go out, I get bit everywhere.
Wow. Yeah. And seeing that's the thing. Sometimes it's just the different times of the year or seasons or cycles we're going through, because normally we don't have that many grasshoppers, really. I mean, but this year they're awful bad. But we did have a lot of rain this year, a lot of rain, and that rain I think made everything grow, because it's greener here this year than I've ever seen it before, ever.
Yeah, I've had a lot of rain this year too, but with that came a lot of grass. You know what I'm saying? And then with a lot of grass, you get grasshoppers. So you get a lot of those, insects that we particularly don't like. But the beauty part about the rain is that everything grew like it was on steroids.
It did. I've never seen so much grass. The hay was so thick. There's the round bales out there in the fields are, oh my gosh, it's like I've never seen so many round bales in my life out there on the fields. Amazing.
This was a good year, a very good year for melons and watermelons. Like very good, and blackberries and all that good stuff.
Yeah, you grow a lot of watermelon. How did that go?
I'm already at 55 watermelons, bro, and I still got like
Wow.
10 more I'm waiting on outside.
Wow.
I've given them away. You know, the neighbors like them. I mean, and here's the thing. I mean, about 12 of them had that little black end rot on them, but
Yeah.
it happened. You know, that's inevitable. That's going to happen. Some of them don't uptake water properly, or, you know, maybe a little bit of calcium was compromised in the soil. But you know, all I do is add more eggshells that are already in my compost from the year prior, and they disintegrate very easily once I squeeze them. It turns to powder. Plus, I use my dog's poop, because when he poops, I mean, he eats raw bones, so that disintegrates and turns into powder, and that's pretty fucking good as well for the melons particularly. I've noticed a huge difference. I mean, when you go buy bone meal, that's what you're buying in Lowe's. I hope you know that. You're buying processed poop.
That is for sure. Lucky, I don't know. Do you grow a garden?
I try. Tomatoes are going great. Squash is gone now. I got Milky. I got a mold on my squash. It happens every so often, and it just decimated it. I got a few out of it. I got a zucchini and a summer squash, and then the whole thing just fell apart. But
they go through a period when you get did you get any like powdery mildew on them or anything like that?
yeah, that's it. It killed it just completely. I tried. I pulled the leaves off that had it so it wouldn't spread, but it was too late. It had already just decimated the plants. And when it got to one, it got to all of them.
It's inevitable, man. When you get that rain and then it gets cooler at some points, I mean, it's inevitable you get that powdery mildew. And I mean, I got so many cucumbers. I'm gonna put a video up. I actually recorded one of my harvests, but I mean, every time it rained, these cucumbers just kind of ballooned, like if you were blowing balloons. Like, it was just insane the amount of cucumbers I got. And I only had 2 plants, but then it was just a slow death once I started to see that powdery mildew come in, because it's just part of the seasons. That's why you got to plant at a specific time so that you can get a good harvest. Because if you plant too late and you come in contact with that rain and that coolness that comes down, where you start to get that mildew, that condensation at night, you start to get that powdery mildew. But I managed to get a good amount of harvest because I planted it perfectly at the right season, at the right time. I did a lot of cucumber juice.
Here I'm going to share something you'll like. This. Okay, and I got that, and here we go. Look at that. Here's you and your
picking day. I mean, as you can see, these are the grapes that we've picked out so far. Check that out. And 5 bags of grapes out of that one vine. How do I know when they're ready? When the wasps are trying to get to them, that's when I know they're ready. So we're still picking out grapes, but you're gonna see that as we pick out grapes, all right, you may see a couple of them with like holes in them like this. That's because the wasps have already got to them, but that doesn't matter. I mean, as I pick them out, what I do is I just pick out those ones that the wasps have got into, and then I keep the rest. You may have like little spiders here and there like this, but you have to understand this is organic gardening. I don't like use any chemicals and whatnot, but you still get a lot of grapes. So, like for example,
a lot of
grapes is ready for me.
Beautiful.
This is one little batch ready for me, and that's about it. I mean, I'm gonna pick out the rest of these grapes. This is what I picked out so far. Like I said, 2 bags of these, and I forgot to bring out another Ziploc bag. But if anybody has any questions on grapes and how to maintain them, leave them in the comments and we'll talk soon. I'm gonna make a separate video on like the maintenance and what I do. I basically don't use any fertilizers or anything like that. I basically use compost, and as you can see, I have a nice little thick layer of mulch going on there. But like I said, any questions, leave them in the comments and we'll talk soon.
Wow, that is really awesome.
5 bags of those out of that one vine. It's crazy because I've got a couple of those vines, and I had a lot of grapes. But the beauty part is I actually do fasts with them where I do nothing but eat those grapes. And now I'm waiting on the muscadines. I've got a lot of muscadines that I'm waiting on, but they're not ripe yet. But that's my next one is the muscadines, and they're doing very good. And I'll know when they're ready when the wasps start trying to get to them.
Oh yeah, okay. Here's I got another one for you. Okay, I gotta pause that. I gotta make this. Here's you were just talking about your watermelon, so we're gonna, since you didn't have the video, I did the I'm gonna do the bus driving here. Here we're gonna do this. Here you go. And this is your watermelon.
Today's a special day. It's actually watermelon picking day, rather. Sorry. Now, these right here, we just harvested, which we actually make some green juices out of this, along with like celery, carrots, and all that beautiful stuff. So we just harvested that, but I mean, the melons are actually a special moment for me. And if you want to take a quick peek down here, you can actually see this is exactly how I wanted the walkway to look, with these cantaloupes hanging over here like bells. And I've got them actually all over the yard. I mean, we basically have about 45 cantaloupes like this that I basically counted all over the yard. Right now, I mean, you see that they're all hanging like bells in different random areas, especially all along the outer, parts over there. But look at the size of this watermelon. Now, I want to show you, because this is like beautiful. I wanted this to look like this in the entrance. I've got a lot of watermelons over there. I've got a lot of watermelons toward the back. I'm gonna just show you real quick when you know they're ready and the size of the watermelons that I got over here. But if you zoom in over here real quick, you'll know when the watermelons are ready. Made a video on this last year, but I look at this little stick here. That's basically connected from the watermelon to the vine. This little stick right here looks like a dynamite stick to me, and it's usually green. And what happens is that they start turning brown until they get to the very end of the stick. Once it's completely brown, you know that this is ripe. So I'm gonna pull out this this watermelon, which we're gonna be doing some watermelon fasting on this. But look at this watermelon, man. I mean, I can lift weights with this, and I love it because it's so hot out here. You got the nitric oxide, flowing through the veins. But this right here is going to be, that's one watermelon. And I'll do another one, but I've got so many, I'm not going to do them all in one shot. I'm just trying to give you guys an idea of when you actually harvest them. So we got a lot, but look at these over here. Wow. So we've got a few that are ready and some that are not. Look at this. You see, it's inevitable that some of these things will happen. Here's one that went bad. You see this? Normally you pull them out a lot sooner. Oh, yeah. But this, I mean, could be a number of things, which I made a video on last year. It could just be, the water uptake wasn't appropriate, which I'm going to clean that up, by the way. But I'm gonna do this. Let's do this watermelon. This one looks like it's nice and big and ready. Okay, you see the dynamite stick on this is brown, you see? Can you zoom in on that? So that's brown. And that means this one is one that we will be harvesting. Another nice little healthy watermelon. A couple of ways you can tell too, when the bottom looks yellow like this, that's when you know. There's also another method, which is that thumping method, which a lot of people don't have the ear to know when they're ready. But if the best method is to see that little dynamite stick, the little green stick. When it's brown, you'll know that it's ready to go. That's another giant one. I want to pull this one out over here. And this one's got the dynamite stick ready also. And so exciting when we able, these are big watermelons, man. And it's exciting when you're growing them yourself, because the life force is basically still all intact, so I mean, look at this. These are healthy watermelons, and I got a lot more toward the back. So I'm gonna be going around and seeing which ones are ready, which ones are not, and enjoying some watermelons. The grapes, I'll put that in another video, but the grapes are ready too. So we'll be doing some grape fasts, which I'll keep you guys updated on how I'm gonna do those. It's gonna probably be like maybe 3-day grape fast, probably be a 5-day watermelon fast. I mean, we got so many watermelons. A whole family could do a 5-day watermelon fast, But that's about it. I'll do a nice little walkthrough of the garden later. There's a lot more watermelons that I'm going to be picking out right now. So any questions, leave them in the comments and we'll talk soon.
Wow, that is a Those are the biggest watermelons I've ever seen. And besides, you know, ones you get in the store and are huge, you know, but I mean, even they're as bigger than them. Geez.
No.
Oh, they're bigger and they're actually way more nutritious and organic, because the ones that you buy for like $10 in the supermarket are like seedless. You know what I'm saying? And mine are actually seeded with no chemicals.
Actually water pick.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow.
But they are so sweet. I mean, I pick them exactly when they're supposed to be picked. So the sweetness and just the I can't tell you the satisfaction I get from eating something I grew in the garden. It's like amazing, you know? And when I talk about hydration, I've made a video on hydration. There's nothing better than watermelons to hydrate you more than water. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I always wonder how that works, because, you know, when you eat watermelon and then, you know, it seems like it goes right through you, you know, and you gotta take a leak. Whereas if you drink a glass of water or whatever, it's not the same. Why is that? I have no idea.
Well, I mean, it's not really going to go through you in the sense where you're going to pee. In actuality, what you're going to notice is that you're going to have to poop a little bit more. And here's the beauty part. When you eat watermelons that rind, a lot of people throw that out, which is the part that doesn't taste like anything. It's close to the skin. That part right there, it doesn't taste like nothing. But if you want to go to the bathroom, if you have constipation or whatnot, that is the best clear out your colon. That's number one. Number two,
didn't know that.
Yeah, and number two, the reason why it's even better hydrant than water is because it's actually helping your kidneys out, and right above your kidneys are your adrenal glands. This is responsible for processing electrolytes. So if you can get those in order, you're actually utilizing the electrolytes, the minerals, which is organic minerals, not inorganic minerals you actually get in water, because that's how they alkalize water. So what's happening is that this is actually alkalizing your body in a natural way. It's flushing out the inorganic and salt and all the toxins out of the body. And you're actually, it's so much better for you. It's actually anti-aging in a sense, because you're getting rid of so much garbage, and you're actually aiding your body in the process of like what real nutrition is supposed to be, which is intake, process, eliminate. But what you uptake, it's not, because people look at nutrition as, oh, I'm eating more of this, more of that. It's not that. It's what you're getting out of what you're actually taking. If I'm eating something small and I'm able to utilize it, it's more nutritious for me than you eating a boatload of food that you're getting nothing out of. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's why watermelons and grapes are powerful.
Well, when I used to farm, we'd feed the cows lots of corn and you know, grain, and then you would give them like a little bit of hay, just a little bit, and you're thinking, you know, how come the horse got to eat a half a bale of hay and the cow gets like one flake? But then of course you're giving him 15 or 20 pounds of corn and, you know, mash and stuff like that, and he chows that down, and he's got to have that little bit of roughage, you know, because you're giving him all that, the good stuff. Besides that, it's like I notice, like myself, if I take a lot of vitamins, I don't have the craving for food as I do when I'm not taking the vitamins. I think that's my body telling me to eat. And then, of course, then I don't know what to eat. So I'm eating all kinds of stuff. And then I gain a bunch of weight. Go figure.
Yeah. There's sometimes some vitamins have something called chrysin or white kidney bean and whatnot, which is actually something that gives you that feeling of satiation. There's something called like Appetrex or appetite control that you buy in supplement stores. And sometimes these vitamins have these things. Sometimes they'll add not caffeine, but guarana. So you'll have the sense that you're getting more energy from these vitamins, but you're really not getting energy from the vitamins. You're just getting a stimulation. And it's called guarana. It's not really caffeine. It's the primary source of caffeine, but it's not really caffeine. You can get this effect from like green tea complex or green coffee bean extract, you know what I'm saying? Which are all like thermogenics, but they give you a sense of like energy, that you have energy, that the vitamins are doing something. But really focus on food more, because when you intake vitamins, don't forget these things are inorganic and the body doesn't really recognize them. That's why it is said, and you can look this up, that you pee out the majority of the vitamins you intake in supplemental form because the body doesn't recognize it as food. That's why you pee nuclear yellow. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to discourage you on the vitamins. I'm just trying to tell you to focus on like the, that's why it's called a supplement, because you're supplementing for something you're not doing through food. You know what I'm saying? So if you can do it through food, then there's no need to supplement unless you absolutely have to. Then that's where you would supplement.
Mhm.
But, whenever we look at deficiencies and whatnot, there's really never any deficiency. There's just something that the body is not utilizing, and it's all coming down to, let's say the gut microbiome or like the bacteria in your gut that's not able to process something. You know what I'm saying? And that's why,
Mhm.
like when you look at a plant, I made this in a video where I said that sometimes when plants appear to have some form of deficiency that we call a deficiency, like the plants may have like a yellow leaf or whatnot, and they say, oh, this is an iron deficiency or a calcium deficiency.
Mhm.
But sometimes if the soil is not protected, the sun hits the soil, and then it compromises the either the moisture level of the soil. And
Mhm.
if that gets dry, then the bacteria gets compromised and it's no longer processing organic matter. And then this is what appears as a deficiency. Then you go to Lowe's or Walmart, start buying fertilizers. But in actuality, if you condition the soil and keep it protected throughout the
Mhm.
whole season, you'll never experience deficiencies. Up until this moment, I still have my garden with leaves like super green. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Except
mhm.
for the ones I can't help, like those disease. They're not resistant. Like, for example, when Lucky Smith and I were just talking about the cucumbers, the powdery mildews and whatnot. Those are just things that are inevitable. Those plants are susceptible to that. You get
Mhm.
what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So they're annuals. They're not perennials. Like
Mhm.
when you eat perennials like grapes or uh, the blackberries, the blueberries, those things are a little bit more disease resistant and resistant to like those things that we experience with annuals. You get what I'm saying?
Mhm. Yep.
So and
Hmm.
that's just from what I'm observing too. When I'm looking.
So here's a
You get that,
question.
Lucky Smith?
No,
You agree with
yeah,
that?
my raspberries are nuts. My raspberries are taking over my yard, so I have to cut them
Yeah,
back
yeah.
every year. They're actually worse. I cut them back to the ground last year, and they're like 4 times worse this year than they were last year.
Oh,
And
yeah.
of course, because I want the raspberries great, but I can't get them all. The birds have got most of them because it's just huge. So raspberries have done really well this year.
Yeah.
My raspberries have done fantastic. They did so well that I don't care that I'm fighting with the animals because I got so many raspberries.
Man, that's so true. See, that's the whole thing. That happened to me with the grapes and the blackberries. Like there's some beetles or birds. I'm like, who
Oh,
gives
yeah.
a shit? I mean, I got
Yeah.
so many that I can
Mhm.
share with these animals. And it's not bothering me anymore.
Yeah. I still have a robin that the raspberries are all gone now because the raspberries are done one season.
Yeah.
I still have a robin that still comes back to this friggin' bush looking for raspberries. I'm like, dude, there are no raspberries. It's just like, but it's
You know
still
what
coming. It's going around my garden getting the bugs off at least. So the robin does come back and do something, but it goes to the raspberry bush first, and then
Yeah.
it goes to the garden.
You know what I got this year that I didn't have last year? Are cats in the garden. I'm gonna tell you right now. I can't tell you how grateful I am for these fucking cats. I'm not, somebody who doesn't like birds. I love birds, but if a bird is there to try to eat some of the berries and whatnot, I have already seen these cats assassinate a bird and eat that shit whole. Like it's
Oh,
insane.
wow.
I'm not killing the bird, so I don't feel bad. I'm just letting it be however it is. The cats, the reason they like my garden is because it's so bushy. There's a lot of coyotes around my way. There's so many plants that they're actually like sleeping in some of my beds. But what the beauty thing is that they don't bother my plants at all. So if they were bothering my plants, of course I would have to do something. But they don't do nothing to the plants. Like they're carnivorous animals, so they're eating the fucking mice if there was any mice. They're keeping the rabbits at bay, or those groundhogs or the ground moles that you see on the ground. They're keeping those at bay. They've done a good job this year because I grew carrots, and last year I noticed my carrots were eaten. This year, a lot of carrots.
Actually, you were talking about wasps taking your grapes. I had an apple tree that was destroyed by caterpillars because I wanted the natural thing. I actually moved a wasp nest at night because I'm immune to. I've been stung so much in my life. My sister and my family are allergic to bees and wasps, so I used to move them as a kid. So to this day, to this day, I moved the wasp nest into my apple tree because my neighbor said to do that, and that's what happened. They got rid of all the caterpillars. It was yellow jackets. The yellow jackets will eat caterpillars, and my apple tree this year is fantastic because no more caterpillars because the damn
Yeah.
wasps ate them all.
Oh, I never thought of that. Yeah.
Yeah,
saw a
I
bunch
didn't want to do any chemicals, and then I tried
Don't do it.
I
Don't do
tried
it.
something. I tried buying. I forget one of the natural things. To, you got these.
Diatomaceous earth?
No. I have plenty of that. That's it was actually it's a thing that parasite. It's not bacterium, but it's like that. It's a unicellular organism that actually infects the caterpillars. You put it on the plants.
Nematode?
That's it. That's right there.
Yeah.
You spray the leaves and that. No, it didn't do shit. Didn't do anything. Of course, maybe the rain and stuff like that. But these wasps, I had a nice wasp nest in there, and although I had to fight with the squirrels to get the apples off, those wasps got rid of all the caterpillars, and for years I was fighting with those caterpillars. I would pick them off, and but couldn't nothing. But the wasps, they saved my apple tree.
I've seen a lot of hornets this year too.
Honestly, I wasps, hornets, I respect them. Everyone says, "Oh, the bees. I'm worried about the bees." No. If the bees, if we lost all the honeybees, wasps will do what we need. You just have to, have to work with them.
Wasps do what they need to do. I actually like to see wasps. I don't even mind the hornets, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
The hornets can do what they need to do. I mean, everything is there for a reason, The only things I can't really find purpose for are two things: are like mosquitoes that keep sucking the blood out of my body, or those Japanese beetles, man. Like I don't see a purpose.
No, Japanese beetles, no. I haven't had any this year, which I'm very happy about. I had a neighbor a couple years ago have those traps, those stupid beetle traps.
Yeah.
And I said, dude, stop it. You're not actually getting rid of them. You're tracking them to your yard. You're getting all the Japanese beetles in the area coming to your yard, and they're coming to my yard too. He stopped. And when he stopped doing that, it actually, we didn't get that many Japanese beetles around. So it was one of the things that he actually listened to me.
And it's like it's impossible to get rid of them. You're not going to get rid of them.
They're pretty.
Like people are saying, like, put the parasitic nematodes in the grass because it like prevents them from coming up in the spring. It's inevitable. I mean, they're going to come from the forest. They're going to come from anywhere, especially if you're growing food. They're going to come. Like, they love blackberries. They love rose bushes. You can't get rid of them. I mean, it's just more or less like deal with them, but just let like right now, like I was telling Robert, I mean, we just got those tree frogs, and believe it or not, man, those shits were eating them beetles and the praying mantises. They eat them like, I'm telling you, man, it's just like vacuum cleaners.
Excellent. That's excellent.
Oh yeah. Max Vision says, have you tried adding sea salt ormus to your soil? It adds 114 minerals. The food is so nutrient rich. That's interesting.
I've never used I've used Epsom salts, but never sea salt.
Yeah.
I use Epsom salt also. For some of the plants, not all of them, because some of the soil I need to keep acidic, so the Epsom salt tends to alkalize your soil a little bit because of that, magnesium.
It depends. It depends on the plants. I judge how whatever, I see how things grow.
Well, Pod Joe says diatomaceous earth can help, but I hear it's not good for the bees. Is that true? You know anything about that?
Yes.
Do you guys use that?
I use it, but you got to make sure that you don't apply it irresponsibly. Like I don't apply it to anything I don't need it on. The only thing I've applied it on was like my pumpkins because of the vine borers. But I mean the bees are not even they're not too infatuated with the pumpkins. You know what I'm saying? They're just there when the flower comes out in the morning, but it don't apply it to things you don't need it. There's just people who apply it on everything because they think they want to get rid of or prevent like bugs, but that's how you hurt the bees.
Yeah, I was eating it for a while too. There's organic, or not organic. There's food grade. That's the word. Food grade. I was using that because I thought I had a parasite. I didn't have a parasite. I was just my body was knocked out. But honestly, using that cleans you up nice. That cleaned me right up. That went through me. Honestly, I was doing diatomaceous earth and water fast with I forget what it was. It was this whole thing, and I was much better off. And then of course afterwards you got to do the probiotics because you clean your system out. You got to, yeah.
Were you using you weren't using anything else, right? Like as a cleanser, were you doing like oils, like the extra virgin olive oils, or the citrus, or like the malic acid rather?
Not the malic acid. I was using the olive oil, but that was only, it was cyclical. Only one part of it was olive oil. It was a whole process over the course of a month because I was convinced I had parasites. What? Yeah, what?
Did you see any stones come out?
Oh, absolutely.
Did you see any stones come out?
Because I was it looked like sand. It looked like I was, yes. Drinking it was tough. I was also doing the volcanic earth bentonite clay. Yeah, it was some kind of bentonite clay. Yeah, that's it. I was doing that too. It was a whole process. Everything wasn't, I had to buy it separately. Someone did, this was an idea for someone else, and it was a process, but all of it was food grade, and it cleaned my system up, that's for sure. Yeah, look into like activated charcoal, and there's people who've used the food grade turpentine as well, the pine tar spirit. Never done that. Oh God, no. I mean, those things are but the thing is, there's people who do it because you have to use these things responsibly, man. It's just like, even garlic, man. Like garlic is food and it's healthy, but you don't eat it all the time. You eat it when you need it. You get what I'm saying? There's herbs and things that I'm growing that I don't eat unless I actually need them. You know what I'm saying? Because that's like you always taking an antibiotic. You don't need antibiotics. Why would you take antibiotics, right? So like garlic, onions, those things are like natural antibiotics and prebiotics for the body, like the onions are. But you have to take them responsibly, man. You can't just do cleanses if you don't need them and whatnot. Right. No, it's like the soil. Like, if the plants and the soil are healthy, then I leave it alone. Unless I see something, then you act on it. And your body is like another garden anyway. Absolutely. That's like those. I still do intermittent fasting, and I actually eat less. And I have to be careful because if I eat out, I'll actually gain weight fast, and I'm actually having trouble. Actually, I'm maintaining my weight, and I'm actually eating a lot less now. And it's the weirdest thing because again, my body's processing everything pretty efficiently. It's the weirdest thing. Right. Drive my wife crazy. Like, no. I can't. I don't want to gain too much weight. It's like, oh, you got to eat it, carbs and shit. No, I don't want that. No, please, no. Yeah. It's good for you. It's good. Oh, yeah. Sometimes like the sodium intake, like when you eat out, the type of salts they put in there and the oils. Just I hate when you gain weight. It's not really fat. It's more or less like a water retention, just because of how clean you've been eating, and then your body's gonna react. It's like, what's crazy is like somebody. There's so many debates online where people are like, oh, if you eat an egg, it raises your cholesterol level, but they don't take into account base level. Like let's say if I'm a vegan and I never eat cholesterol, let's say the moment I eat an egg, there's gonna be a crazy ass spike in cholesterol levels. But if I eat steak and bacon all the time and I eat an egg, there's really not going to be a difference. You know what I'm saying? So there's always so much debate with misinformation online that, it gives people the wrong guidance or direction sometimes. And that's the reason why when you experience certain things, you don't know why it is, but it's just, you got to get to the root core of like the information and why that is, and sometimes you got to get to know your body too. Absolutely. You may react to certain things that I may not react to, That's the truth. That's a lot of people. They follow other people's diets and they get all frustrated because it's not working for them. Like, yeah, your body's different. Come on, man. You got to figure it out. Yeah. That people don't listen. They think, oh, this worked for someone else. Why wasn't it working for me? I'm like, well, you're a different person. I don't know.
I had this roommate and worked with him quite a while, and that guy, he was mostly vegetarian eating stuff, and he was telling me that his family were very strict vegetarians, and he grew up like that. Well, I mean, anything that contained anything, meat wise or from an animal was, you couldn't even take a vitamin caplet unless it wasn't, it was vegan approved kind of thing. You know what I mean? And when he could eat more than anybody I ever seen. He could like devour a whole cabbage at lunch. He'd like eat a whole cabbage and an apple and some carrots and stuff and just chow it all down. And I don't know how he did it. But if he ate like a hamburger, or if he ate some beef stew or something like that and had just a little bit of chunks of meat in it and stuff, he'd get awful god sick. I tell you, he was just miserable. But like here's the thing I've learned, I think, now tell me if I'm wrong, but we would go out to work, right? Now he ate all those vegetables and I had a few beef sticks and a little bit of food or whatever it was. And we'd go out and we work and bust ass and pound fence posts and do all kinds of things. And by the end of after a couple of days of doing that, well, not a couple, it was 3 or 4 days at least. All of a sudden, he just ran out of energy. He was like the Energizer bunny that didn't have any batteries in him. Yeah. And me, even though I was just eating a few beef sticks and, my little bit of beef stew or a can of, whatever I could find, I was still good and pounding those posts. Now, what do you think happened there?
Protein.
He just ran out. He couldn't do anything. I mean, he was like in a different.
There's pros and cons to everything, man. I eat meat, bro, but I don't eat it as much as like the average American eats it, who eats like 3 times a day. They'll eat meat. I eat meat like literally once a week, sometimes twice a week. Sometimes it may go 2 weeks, but I still do eat it. So I keep my system acclimated to eating that. See, that's called metabolic flexibility, which means like you could still, because here's the thing, you notice when you're a little kid, you can eat everything you want and you stay lean. Like you actually process food and you're recovering from those foods a lot faster when you're younger. And when you're older, your growth hormone is slower than when you're younger. So you're not going to grow up anymore. So you start to grow sideways, right? I believe like when you're younger, you're more water as well. And when you're older, you're more tight, stiff, rigid and shit. You know what I'm saying? And you shouldn't be eating as much of those stiff, solid foods. If anything, you eat more water foods. And that's why they say you are what you eat, right? So you're actually more flexible, more malleable. You'll also notice that you're a little bit more open-minded because of the fact that your body is not under stress, like fight or flight all the time. Like you're actually eating a little bit more of a simple chemistry. So that energy that you would normally use for metabolizing, you're using it for other things such as detoxing. So what you make room for, you allow more in, right? So when you're always full of shit, you know what I'm saying? Like you don't make room for things, even in life, right? They say, oh, if you want to allow certain things in life, you got to make room. Literally for your body, it's the same exact way, man. Like for nutritional value, for all these type of things, it's important to have your body with that kind of energy reserve, because people think of energy as only one thing. There's different levels of the body. You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
Energy borrowed by caffeine and you'll be stimulated, but it's different than sexual energy. You know what I'm saying? So there's different kinds of energy that you're utilizing. Metabolic energy, I mean, there's creative energy that you're basically drawing from when you're working hard, laborious jobs, when you're stressed out in mundane, stupid things. Even through metabolic stress, there's certain levels of energy that you're compensating from because you're overstressing the ones that you're taking from a physical level. You know what I'm saying? So you start tapping into other forms of energy. That's why you may be mentally drained in some aspects, or, sexual energy is probably one of the most powerful ones, but, there's different levels of stimulation. You know what I'm saying? Like you got dopamine. There's a lot of things that we do in a day that bring us out. And if we don't basically manage that bank account, we start to feel it at the end of the day. I don't know, man, even rest, sleeping is very important, but a lot of people don't sleep properly. That goes into many different avenues,
Working out here in the oil field, when I first came out here, they were rush with everything. And, you could work 24 hours straight and then keep working some more. And if you wanted to, they would let you, and people would do that. And I knew guys who did that, and they would work and the guy's like, I've been working 24 hours, and I'm like, that's kind of silly after 20, and then they would be like, I'm at 48 hours. And I'm thinking, dude, you know, and they're pounding what's that stuff?
5-hour energy.
Yeah, or Red
Oh,
Bull
shit.
and stuff. All them.
God, Red Bull is nasty.
Yeah,
Oh my
and
God.
they would be drinking that stuff like
And
crazy and still working. But
bang.
you know, the thing is they after a while they got grumpy and
Oh,
and
absolutely.
I've seen guys throw fits, you know, and
Crap.
something didn't go right and they're throwing stuff and you know, and I'm like, wow, that ain't you, man. You know, these guys were, I mean, like, what did I do? Yeah, I didn't do nothing. I didn't back up. You know what I'm doing? I'm trying to move that thing, and you know, I'm thinking, what's wrong? But you
Hey,
know, he
Robert.
hadn't been. Yeah,
I'm outside because I was in traffic and I didn't want to miss this call. But
Yeah.
my phone is like literally on like 2%. I don't know if it's gonna hang up or whatnot. But I gotta
Okay.
get home now because I got stuck in traffic. That's why I didn't make
Okay.
it home on time.
Oh, okay.
Might
It's
have
all
to
right.
cut out a little bit soon. I really appreciate
That's
the
all right. Thanks
invite.
for coming. I'm glad you made it. It's
Yeah.
nice to hear all the information you got, and I'm glad we played your videos. Make some more. We'll do it again.
Listen, man, hit me up because I'll get on another one of these very, very soon. Like maybe as soon as next week or even a couple of days. I don't really care. Just hit
That's
me up.
great. Okay,
It's
we'll
better when
do.
I'm home because I'm like right now. My phone's about to die, man.
We'll make some more of those garden videos. I sure do enjoy them. We'll play them
I will
here.
do, man. It's all
Okay.
good talking to you guys, man.
Yeah. See you later. All right. Cool. Thank you. Thank you. Wow, look at that. And you know, well, I'm glad he could make it. It's been a lot of fun. Yeah, Pa Joe says my dad is 80 years old and has type 2 diabetes since his 30s.
Wow.
And the docs are amazed how well he has done. He is very in tune with his body's needs. And just like Zig Zag Zilla said, isn't that right? You got to know your body. You got to know the foods you eat.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Especially diabetes. If you can control your diabetes through diet,
Mhm.
good willing. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
some people can do that.
Yeah, but you know what the thing is a lot of people, they don't have willpower. They don't want to stick to things. I watched one lady when I worked at the Dude Ranch here. She was the manager lady, and oh my gosh, you know, she had to give herself the little shots and stuff like that, and all these things and tests. You know, I don't know what stage diabetes that is, but if that's 1 or 2, but whatever it wasn't good. And then she would like go out and see all the cake and goodies that the cook had made, and then she'd have herself a piece of cake, and then she'd be like, well, I better get back and test myself and give myself a shot. I'm thinking, see, this is where it stems from. You're eating. One day she forgot to give herself a shot, and then she couldn't get out of the house. And she was crumpled up on the floor like in the fetal position, and she couldn't move or talk or anything. And somebody went over there and rescued her and had to call the cops and the ambulance and everything and have her, wheeled away. And then they filled her full of the good stuff, and off she went again. She was good as new. But, I mean, think about it. She just, if nobody would have came there, she just died.
That's the truth. It can be tough to figure out how to get the right way, but you have to make the attempt.
Yeah.
It can be tough to know what your diet is and how to get your body in the right alignment, but you got to make the attempt at least.
Yeah, but the thing is she likes sweets, so she cheated on the sweets, and she just ate what everybody else ate and did what everybody else did. And I thought, well, how good is that? No wonder why people are having problems and stuff like that. Like you say, hey, I got diabetes and I'm going to eat whatever I want because I'm taking this stuff here.
Well, that's it. The doctors aren't looking for a solution; they're looking for a cash cow. Literally, they'll keep you on the system as much as possible. So if you got diabetes, if you don't take care of yourself, you'll come to the doctor forever. If you do take care of yourself, you won't need them as much. So weird situation, Although doctors are really busy, just going to the doctors is just it's hard, getting everything timed out.
Oh yeah, exactly. And you need to have some doctrine sometimes, but then a lot of times you can do your own doctrine to some extent. And sometimes that's better because you're the one telling yourself, hey, I ate this food and I feel good, or I ate this food and I don't feel good. And,
that's the truth right there. Right there. You got to learn your body. Got to make the effort. And though this might taste good right now, how are you going to feel in an hour, half an hour? You know, that's the truth right there.
Yeah. Yeah, I know for myself. I don't know about you, but well, you were saying you did like intermittent fasting.
I'm crazy. But I'm crazy. I'm also a vegetarian that I don't talk about. You know, I'm a vegetarian, but if someone offers me meat, I'm glad that I have to take it. You know, it's one of the things is part of my mindset is I have to accept it. So I do eat meat, but I don't tell everyone of it. I'm the opposite of a typical vegetarian. Because what's the difficult thing about being vegetarian is not telling everybody that you're vegetarian.
Well, I mean, how critical do you go? I mean, do you go to the point where, oh my gosh, there's like some egg in that, I can't have it?
No, I just do it as a lifestyle. It doesn't. If there is meat in my food, I don't care. I don't go about throwing it away. Like I said, if someone offers me something, I'll accept it, no question. I won't say, I'm a vegetarian, I can't eat that. That's the one thing is that mindset is that, you know, I decided to become a vegetarian only because it was suggested towards me from a higher source. Let's just say that.
Yeah. So if you went to a party and they handed you a hamburger and said, "Here you go," you'd be like,
I would ask, "Can I have a cheeseburger? Right? Can I have cheese on that and mayonnaise and lettuce?" Yes, I would accept it, no questions asked. If it's offered to me, but that's just part of the mindset. Is there is especially Asian culture. If you're given a gift, you can't refuse. So if you're at a party and you're a guest at a party and they give you something, you have to accept it. You know, if it's extravagant, of course, you don't have to do that. But you know, you don't want to make the host feel bad. Never want to make the host feel bad.
Yeah. I know how that goes. You go somewhere and somebody's there and you sit down and say you go for, I've been to places where here it's Christmas dinner or Thanksgiving dinner. And the person goes, well, I can't eat that. I can't eat this and I can't eat that. And then they sit there like, well, what are you going to eat?
Right. Unless you're allergic, there's no excuses.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But that's the thing, you know, it's like, come on. And I don't think it's so good to just be vegetarian. Like I said, I seen my friend there, you know, he was my roommate and I spent many years with him. Shout out to Aaron if he ever listens to this, but and he ate a lot of vegetarian stuff. He did a lot of good cooking, but when he did eat meat, he didn't feel so good. I mean, I was like, oh, come on, you know, it'll get in your system. And he's like, it hurts my stomach, you know.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem is that, if you're a vegetarian and you eat meat, if you don't have the right bio, you're just going to screw everything up. But like I said, it's a lifestyle rather than a solid, I can't eat meat. No, it comes every so often. It just happens to be that it'll come every so often. So my body still has to be able to digest it. But if you're a vegetarian most of your life and you eat meat, your body doesn't have the ability to digest meat. So that's why.
No. Yeah, it's grown away from that. And I don't want to get that way. I eat a lot of meat. And I know I shouldn't eat so much meat. I try to limit my amounts because it takes my body a lot of work to digest that.
Well, there's a problem with when you say meat, because there is, you know, beef, pork, fish, chicken, turkey. You know, there's so many kinds. Because for me, turkey and chicken, easily digestible. Fish, no problem. Well, I don't eat any pork. One thing is I don't eat any pork because pork is just the way they treat pork. Honestly, there's so many nitrates in it. So if I'm offered bacon, I will accept it. But again, bacon's a little different than pork though, because it's so cooked. You know, the nitrates. But ham, there's so many nitrates in ham that my system cannot accept ham because it's just, and that's what I think it's a nitrates, the high amount of nitrates. But it is what it is. But of course, if you eat it in moderation, you're good.
Yeah, and I noticed that too. I used to eat a lot of ham and pork stuff, and I used to raise my own pigs. So, but anyhow, the point is that I would, you know, I eat a lot of beef and things like that. You know, some fish, not as much as I probably should, but being in North Dakota, there's not that much fish here. You know,
that's your problem right there.
Yeah.
Well, me at the end of my street is a fish place. I can buy fish anytime I want.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas like here, unless you're a fisherman, you got to buy it at the store. And I mean, there's lakes and people go fishing, but I've never been good at that. I know I need to practice on that for my survival skills, but I just am not a good fisherman.
The fish, you're in a different area. For me, I have plenty of access to fish, not just seafood, but freshwater, because a lot of the freshwater fish that, they're going towards the sea back and forth. So we have plenty of, but you're in North Dakota. And also that's pretty dry where you are too. So, I mean,
yes. I mean, you got to drive quite a ways to get to a lake, and there's supposedly good fishing at the lakes, but, you got to make a good effort. It's an all-day process to go up there and fish. And I'm not very good at fishing, and,
No, fishing. Yeah, fishing is a skill. I can catch when I go fishing, but I went with my son, and we spent all day, didn't catch anything. And I'm like, I got something wrong with this lake. And then I go out alone, and I just boom, 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 boom. And I got stopped by the game warden. He's like, "Hey, you got a license there?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And I showed him. He goes, "You're at your limit?" And I'm like, "I'm actually a little below my limit, no question." But they're very strict where I am right now. Actually, I was going out kayaking, and had a net with me, and he goes, "What are you catching with that net?" I'm like, "Trash," because it was like one of those things you get at the dollar store, a butterfly net.
Yeah.
Because I kayak a lot. I used to kayak a lot, and I was picking up the trash with my butterfly net. And I said to him, "Officer, there's nothing that would be able to, stay in this net. It would rip off, So I'm not catching." He goes, "Oh, well, thank you for cleaning the trash up." No problem. But yeah, he was ready to hit me for catching fish with a net, and I'm like, "No, it's not. This isn't a fishing net, sir. This is a butterfly net to catch trash."
And even if you had a fishing net, you know how hard it would be to catch a fish with a net.
I honestly, I swear to them that they just looking for things to bug people about. But
yeah, you just have to, if you did catch one, it would have been the luck of the draw with a net.
Oh God, yeah. Except for carp, because the carp tend to get too close to shore. Besides that, but everything else, no, you're not catching anything.
Yeah, and if you did, that'd be like a 1 in a million chance, and more than likely, if you're out kayaking and you caught a fish, you'd probably just let it go.
I saw a bobber going across the lake, going back and forth, and I came up and I grabbed it and pulled it up. There was a catfish on the end, so it probably broke the line. So I freed the catfish and took the line away. That was weird, but kayaking is a weird situation. You find the weirdest shit.
Yeah. I know. I would like to go learn a little bit more of that. Here they canoe down the rivers and stuff. Someday I'm going to buy me a canoe and do that. Yeah,
it's fun, except for the swans. Watch out for the geese. Now the geese are not a problem. It's the swans. Swans don't have it. They think you're always a threat, and they're going to come after you. The swans, beautiful swans. No, I hate this. I'm terrified of swans. But the geese, I'm okay with the geese. The geese don't bother me. I don't bother the geese. The swans, they don't care. They'll come after you.
Wow. Well, anyway, we've had a good, exciting hour. Thank you for Zig Zag Zilla for coming on. If you're still listening, or maybe listening later, but he was great. Lucky, thank you for coming on and being a co-host. And it was a lot of fun. I'm glad you grow a garden, and it's nice to learn about all that stuff. And thank you for everybody in the chat room who came tonight to watch. Pod Joe, Mary Wins, Max Vision was here, and Desert Rose. Thank you for coming. I haven't seen Desert Rose. Well, I did for a while there. Truth Seeker, Scotty Boy. He's probably cracking a beer right about now, listening to us about getting the evening over there. And Nina the Mystic. And let's see. So go over and buy some Anacorona stuff. And Courtney, who's probably listening right now as she falls asleep because she's got us playing in the background. And let's see. I think that's about it. I think we've gotten everybody. And with that, we'll let you go. But go over to Max Vision. He's got a show and he's doing that remote viewing. It's a lot of fun. Go over there if you could stay awake like me. I'm probably gonna try to go over there, and I'm more than likely after I finish up, I'm gonna fall asleep. But
Absolutely. Yeah.
I've been over there and it's a lot of fun. And who knows, maybe I will stay awake tonight. Pretty good. I took a nap so I could be wide awake for this show. So anyway, thank you everyone. Remember, go out and be the frequency you want to receive. I love you all. Thanks. There we go.